Today we will be discussing the rights of landlords and tenants. Our first section is leases. A lease operates under binding terms. It is a legal contract that must be honored by both the tenant and the landlord. One of the most important components of this contract is the rent agreement, which formalizes how much the tenant is to pay. In the event the landlord violates the contract, the tenant can file a complaint. This claim can be settled in a local tenant-landlord bureau or a small claims court. Now we will cover landlord's rights with respect to property. The most important right is the landlord's authority to enter his or her property in an unrestricted manner. However, landlords must enter with reasonable notice during reasonable times, unless there is an emergency or the lease agreement specifically states otherwise. Other rights will be specified in the contract. Similarly, tenants also have property rights. One example of this is exempt property. Certain valuables, like cash or your car, may not be taken from you to pay debt. Renters also have the right to enjoy the property for which they are paying. The landlord cannot interfere with this right in an unjust manner. There are also guidelines for the eviction process. If the renter fails to meet a lease obligation, a landlord may begin the eviction process. However, this requires that the lease be legally terminated first. Written notice must be issued. Tenants are not excluded from eviction rights. They are entitled to a habitable living environment, one that does not endanger their health. Even if the eviction process begins, the landlord cannot forcibly remove the tenant, turn the water off, or the electricity off, or change the locks. And a court order must be issued.